I'm Tanya, and today I'm going to use a few props. So if you have them, you'll want a yoga strap and a block. And if you don't have a block, you could use a pillow or just something that we're going to put between the knees that you can press against. So even a ball or a towel would work fine. Okay, so let's start sitting down, and we're going to start in our 90-90 position. And I want you to kind of get your hamstring and your glute underneath you. A lot of times when we come into the 90-90, our hip is kind of under us, off to the side, and we want to make sure that we get our leg and our sit bone underneath us. So we want straight out from the hip, a 90-degree bend in the knee, then the back leg, the trail leg, comes straight out from the hip with a 90-degree in the knee back behind us. So now you're going to sit up tall and then pull your hip back. And then we're going to lean forward from the chest, keeping a really long, tall spine, and lean forward. Getting a nice stretch in the glute and in the hip capsule. Hold it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press your leg down into the floor to come up. If you need your fingertips for support, that's fine. If you can take your hands out to the side, no support. It's going to be more work in the muscles there. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press up. We're going to go one more time. Come forward, long spine. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press up. Okay, now we're going to lean over onto our elbow. I want you to keep your ribs lifted. And we're going to work some rotation of the hip joint here and the lower leg. So I want you to keep your knee down. And you're going to try to lift your ankle and foot. Hold it. You should feel that in the rotators up in the hip joint in the back. Pressing up as strongly as you can, holding that. And relax. And again. Keep the knee down, lift the foot and ankle, really keep pulling up, holding, pressing, keep the ribs lifted, and lower down. One more time, lift up, holding, pressing, engaging through all of the hip capsule, and lower down. Okay, now we're going to sit up. And we're going to go back and stretch the internal rotation of our trail leg, of our back leg. Just leaning back, you're going to feel like your thigh is rotating forward as your hip, your pelvis rotates back over the thigh bone. Try to keep the knee down, the thigh rotating inward. Should be feeling a good stretch up in the hip capsule, all the way deep inside, and then bring that up. And now we're going to lift the back foot. You want to keep the knee down, stay nice and tall. Lift up, hold, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, keep pressing, 2, 1, and lower down. If you're not able to get your foot off the floor, you can lean over to the side, and that will help take out some of the rotation here in the hip joint so that you can get a little bit more lift up. I'm going to go 2 more times. Lift up, 1, 2, 3, 4, work it hard, 5, 6, 7, keep lifting, 8, 9, 10, relax. One last time. And lift, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and lower down. Okay, now we're going to open up into external rotation. Pivot on the ball of the big toe, push the ankle and heel forward, push the knees apart from each other. Try to keep yourself lifted and tall, pressing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knee down. 2 more times. Open out into external rotation. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Last one. Press them apart. Push the front knee down into the floor. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Okay, now we're going to twist. You want to think lift up tall as you rotate the torso. And then come back, reach for the trail leg. And again, lift up tall. And rotate back to the trail leg. One more time, lifting tall. And back to the trail leg. Okay, and now we'll bring the other leg into front. Have our 90-90 set up. Have your sit bone and your leg underneath you. Pull the hip back, reach forward, long spine. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press up. If you can, arms out to the side. Reach forward, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press. Last one. And forward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift up. Really strengthening that hip capsule. Okay, now lean over, keep the ribs lifted, knee stays down, and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower down. And again, lift and holding, pressing up, squeezing, feeling those rotators up deep in the groin, and lower down, keeping the ribs lifted, and up. Good, and bring that up. Okay, we're going to take it back for our stretch. Keep the thigh rotating down, keep the knees down, lean back as far as it feels okay to you. I'm trying to sink my hip back a little bit further so that it's not so much an arch in my back that takes me back, but it's that my hip is able to drop back, my pelvis is able to drop back. Okay, bring yourself up. And we're going to keep the knee down and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and lower down. Ooh, feeling that. Okay, again, lifting. 1, 2. Remember, you can come down to your side if you're needing to. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and lower down. And last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm really pushing. 5, 6. Trying to get my foot up as high as I can. 9, 10, and lower down. Okay, pushing the knees apart. Swivel through. Press the knees. Push this front knee down into the floor. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close that down. And again, open. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 2, and 1. Last one. Press it open. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Good. Now for our twist. Lift up, rotate as far as you can, and then reach back for the trail leg. And again, lift up and twist. And reach back. And again. Last time back. Good. Okay, come together in a butterfly stretch. Try to press the knees down to the floor, opening up the hips. If you want your hands back behind you, you can to help you keep your pelvis lifted. Press down into the floor. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to keep the knees down either with your hands or your elbows and try to lift the knees up as you press down with your hands or elbows. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, now press the knees down to the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, hold the knees, press up into the hands. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, bring the knees together. And now take the legs out in front of you. Flex your feet. We're going to come forward in a forward fold with a long spine. You want to think about bringing your belly button up your thighs. Chest is reaching forward. Come into your stretch. Pull your shoulders back. Keep lengthening forward. And then eventually you can drop your head. And then reach forward as you come up. Okay, one more time. Walk your hands forward. Keep the spine long. Keep reaching your abdominals down your thighs. Chest is forward. Pull yourself forward, and then you can lower the head. And then lock it back up with a tall spine. Okay, let's go into some shoulder bridges. So we're going to use our blocks, our block and our strap. So go ahead and lie down. Put the block in between your knees. Feet are about 6 to 8 inches apart. They line up with the knees and the hips. We want to sink the rib cage down and tuck the tailbone, and then continue to use the glutes and the hamstrings to lift us up so that we're in a long line from the knees through the hips to the shoulders. No arching of the back. So keep the ribs down. You want to feel like you're trying to tuck. Press your feet into the floor. And then roll down one vertebra at a time, starting from the shoulder blades, the solar plexus, and down. And then we work it in reverse. We want to tuck, sink the ribs, use just the glutes and the hamstrings, not the back. Press up, pull the knees forward, push the feet down, squeeze your block. Holding. And now roll it down. And again, tuck the tailbone, sink the rib cage, press the feet into the floor, pull the knees forward, squeeze the block. Feel like you're trying to make that line from your knees to your shoulders as long as you can. Reaching the knees, anchoring the shoulders, squeezing, and lower down. Again, tuck, sink the rib cage, press and hold, and lower down. We're working slowly and with control. One more time like this, tuck, sink the ribs, keep the ribs pulling down into the body. That'll help keep you from arching your back. Press your feet, squeeze your block, pull your knees forward, holding, and now rolling down from the solar plexus. And down. Okay, now I'm going to take my yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you could use a belt. I have it set up so that I can put my legs inside and use it to give myself an isometric press outward. I don't really want my knees to go much wider than my hips. We're going to do the same thing, shoulder bridge 5 times, pressing out into our strap. Okay, tuck, sink the ribs, pressing out into my strap. Holding, feet pushing into the floor, pressing out into my strap, and then curl and roll it down. And again, tuck, sink the ribs, roll the spine up 1 vertebra at a time, up to the shoulder blades. I keep my tuck on so that I know that I'm not arching my back. When we tuck, that engages the glutes, and remember, glutes and hamstrings are what we're targeting for our hip extension. And roll it down. I keep pressing out into my strap even as I'm rolling down. Again, tuck, sink the ribs, press out into the strap, push my feet into the floor, pull my knees forward, keep squeezing my glutes, and roll it down. I want to talk to you about squeezing your glutes. There's kind of 2 ways that we can engage our glutes. One is a squeeze, kind of like from the sides, like we're trying to pinch our cheeks together. But another is where the hamstrings come up and engage with the glutes. And there it's going to feel like you're lifting, trying to lift your tush. So when you come up, roll up, and we think squeeze the glutes, we mainly think squeeze in towards the center, but I want you to also think lift. Try to lift your glutes like you're trying to have a real perky bum. And that's going to engage the bottom of the glutes and the very top of the hamstrings, so we don't want to miss that as well. And then lower down. And one more time. Curl, rolling up. Okay, we think squeeze in, but also think lift the bottom. And roll it down. Okay, go ahead and take your strap or your belt off. And we'll give ourselves some stretch now. So we'll start with a figure 4, cross one ankle over the other knee, and then you want to lift your foot off of the floor until you're feeling a really good stretch on the hip that has the bent knee that's getting pulled back. So I'm going to pull my knee back towards me, and basically what that's doing is pulling my ankle towards me. If this is an awkward position for you, you can always just come this way. The goal is to pull the ankle towards the chest and for the knee to rotate and push away from the body. So now, whether you're in this position, cradling your leg in your arms, or if you're in this figure 4 position, now I want you to push your knee with your hip muscles, not with your hand. You're going to push your knee away from your body. So I'm trying to push my knee that way. Holding, pressing, keep pushing, and relax. See if you can hug that in a little bit closer. Okay. Again, you're going to try to press the knee away. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're going to push the ankle. So it's as if I'm trying to push this way, but I'm going to hold it so it's an isometric press. Again, if you are in your figure four this way, you're just going to press your ankle into your knee. Okay, press your ankle into your knee or your hand. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Give yourself a little bit more stretch. If you're finding that your knee is pulling way out to the side, bring it back in so that your thigh is in line with your shoulder. Okay, one more time. Press your foot or ankle into your hand. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And give that a little bit more stretch. Okay, other side. Okay, again, you can come into your figure four using your bottom leg, or you can cradle it in your arms. I'm going to start with just the stretch, so just pull it towards you. Okay, now you're going to try to press your knee away from you, just using the muscles in your hip. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. See if you can come in a little bit deeper. And then again, press 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And now you're going to press your ankle into your hand or your knee and push. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, you're pushing like you're trying to push your foot away from you. Last time, push into it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Give yourself one last stretch. I quickly want to show you what I was talking about in terms of squeezing the glutes. So when we squeeze the glutes, we often think of squeezing together this way. And in Pilates, we talk about it a lot, like wrapping the inner thighs. That's that kind of squeeze. But there's also lifting this way. So what you want to think is that you're pressing your heels into the floor, and that's going to engage the top of your hamstrings, the bottoms of your glutes, and it's that little lift. And this is also really key if you are someone who tends to lean forward into your hips, like this. This is a really common posture today of people leaning forward over their toes, leaning with their hips and having a little bit too much arch in their low back. It gives a lot of strain to the quads, a lot of strain to the calves. So think about pressing your heels down into the floor, and you can see that that's all I'm doing, and you can see how it shifts my center of gravity back, it brings my pelvis back, it takes that tension out of the quads because now I'm balancing my glutes and my hip flexors and my quads so that all of the tension, glutes are shut off here, I'm just leaning. Now my quads are doing all this work to keep me from falling. But if I turn my glutes on, it balances me, so back and front are working together. Okay. All right, let's go to upper spinal floor twist. So lying down on your side. Stack your knees. That means your hips are stacked. Rest your bottom hand on your knees. If you can't reach your knees, it's because you don't have them pulled up far enough. So pull your knees up to where you can reach. We're going to do a big circle with the arms, and remember the most important part is the rotation of the spine. And bring it all the way back around, stack the shoulders. Hips should always stay stacked, but now you've got everything in line. You're back at your start position. Circle around. Make sure the neck and head rotate with the spine. Three. 5. Go ahead and stay open with this one. Feel that you're keeping your knees stacked. If it's hard for you to get much rotation in your spine and your torso so that you're more in this position and your arm is really hanging off, it's okay to bring that arm in so that the lever isn't quite so long and isn't so much tension on the shoulder. The more that you're able to get the torso rotated, the closer your shoulder will be to the ground and the less tension there will be in that shoulder. Make sure that you're taking nice breaths because this is a really good stretch for the diaphragm. So make sure that you're not breathing shallowly in this position. We want to take nice deep breaths so that diaphragm is getting stretched. Okay, go ahead, continue that arm around, close it, and we'll switch sides. So we'll just turn over, line everything up. And we're going to circle around. This is my tighter side. I don't have as much rotation coming this direction. So my shoulder's a little bit further away from the floor than on the other side. And 3. 4. And 5, and we'll hold it open here. You want to find the position of your arm that feels like it's giving your body the stretch where it needs it, whether that means your arm is out to the side or it's up more at an angle. I'm feeling this a lot in my low back right here, so this diagonal position really helps me stretch that position there. Okay, close that up. Bring it around. Okay, and now we're going to just lie down on our backs. Let our hips, our spine, our shoulders, and our head all come into alignment and rest. You can turn palms up on the floor with arms at about a 45-degree angle out from the body. And we'll just rest right here. Okay, now extend your left leg, pull your right knee in, and then change sides. Okay, and now roll yourself up, and we're going to go into an open leg rocker prep. Okay, so you're going to come in, bring the feet in close. Depending on your hamstring and glute flexibility will determine if you can hold here inside the ankles or if you need to hold under the knees. So you want to curl back into your tailbone. So I've got a flexed spine. I'm in a rolling like a ball position. And I'm balancing with my feet up off of the floor. And I'm going to take one leg up, hold, and bring that down. And then the other leg up, hold, and bring that down. Now if you're not flexible in your hamstrings and you need to hold underneath, you can, so that you can give yourself support there. And your legs can go a little bit lower if you need to. Or if you just really don't have the flexibility in the hamstrings and you need to just come to sort of an open tabletop position, that's fine as well. You just work with wherever you're at. Okay. Bring it up again. And down. And other side. So it's really about your balance and control. Okay, now we're going to bring it up. And up. Hold there. Now lift the spine tall, draw the shoulder blades down, bring the feet together, and open. And if you're in tabletop, you would just bring the knees together and open. So again, this is more about balance and control. Work for your flexibility. And close, and open, and close, and open. Bring one down, bring the other down, and we are done for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to our next session together.